Will Smith's downfall needs to be studied, okay? How do you go from one of the most famous household names, like you're the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, dog? You're one of those dudes. Young Will Smith, dudes wish they were like him type junk, right? You get out of Fresh Prince, you live life a little bit, end up having some kids, and both your kids are lunatics. Like actually, they're crazy. But my thing is, right, he goes from this like bachelor that everybody was really fiending over at one point to now like this ultimate cuck that's probably gay. How did we get here? How did you jump from this to that? And then on top of everything, right? Like, so I haven't really been too into the whole drama of Will Smith and Jada, but I know for a fact Jada got a show called Red Table Talk, and Will Smith went on that show to talk about their marriage issues. Why would you put that to the public? Why would you bring that to the public, especially it being as embarrassing as it is? You're telling me that my son's best friend, like one of his closest mans, ended up dogging my wife out. Even if it's an open relationship, open marriage, still. And then on top of that, you went for an open marriage, nigga? How? Marriage? Let's take it back to the actual term. Okay, marriage is a promise to God that you're going to be with this person through thick and thin. And it's only this person. One person. Not Tom, Dick, and Harry. Not Jeanette, Janae, and freaking Leafy. Like, no. So, you go here, you sit, you get married to her, you have 2 kids, and then open marriage happens. One, she seems like the man of the relationship. A lot of these pictures, she got her legs spread open like a dude, while Will's over here fucking legs crossed like a woman, hiding his pee-pee. Like, how did Will get here? Who took his butt for Will to get here? The last good film I've seen of man's is Pursuit of Happiness. That was when I was like 2. That came out when I was real young. What do you have to call for in the current age? Humiliation from your family, your wife, and your freaking kids. Like, the only one kid that's not a bad situation is the kid that's a DJ. He's pretty chill. He does his own thing. But Jaden Smith's a joke. Even though he has done some good things, like brought water to people that have not had water, like he brought water machines to places that needed clean water, like Flint, Michigan, and stuff like that. Cool. He's done some good Samaritan things, right? But this kid is a multimillionaire. He was born into it and then ended up making his own money by making like music and being in films and stuff, which all of the films other than Karate Kid for Jaden Smith were trash, in my opinion. Like that, I think it was After Earth or something like that. That movie was horrible. How do you still have asthma in the big age of the future, bro? Asthma? Crazy. But, yeah. I feel like, but Willow is a breakout. Even though at the same time, she be saying stuff that don't make sense. Like a Nepo baby saying that, oh, I would still be the same way if I was in a bad situation with my family. Like, if she was born into a poor situation, she still would have made music to the degree that she makes it. That's a lie. That sounds like a Nepo baby-ass thing to say. Okay? If you didn't have the support of your family and the money of your family, you wouldn't have been able to start as soon as you did. She started making music at like fucking 8. I whip my hair back and forth. And then after that, which her family tried to put her on tour, which is crazy. Don't put a little kid on tour for one song. But there's that. And that was like, come on, bro. Don't force your kid to do that. But after the fact, she starts making music, I think around, 15, 16, which she makes decent music. Like a lot of good hippie style acoustic guitar music. I mess with it heavy. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a fan. But for her to say something like that, it's like, come on, be real with yourself, okay? If you had to go out here and bust your buns to go buy a guitar, your first guitar, your actual focus is not going to be on the things that you just want to do. Like, that's the privilege of being born into money in a family. You get to try as many things as you want purely because you just want to, and you don't really have to think about repercussion. Now, somebody that's come into the world that's not been so fortunate, you have to think about, can mom afford this? Can I afford this? Will this set me back financially? Can I actually put away the time to pursue this on my days off or my free time whenever I get off of work? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a much more stressful situation. And that's one thing that pisses me off about people that get born into money, that they aren't as appreciative of the situation as they should be. If you get born, and not with a silver spoon, but if you get born with opportunity, you know, you hit 16 and your family's like, oh, come and work with me, I have a business, and you can make, $5,000 a month as a child. Bro, why aren't you thankful for that? Why aren't you taking the second to say thank you for putting me on? No, they're just, oh, I want this or that, I want this and that. Which, materialism is a huge problem in today's world. Kids aren't wanting good memories and good times with their family anymore. They're wanting materialistic things. They're wanting things like, oh, I just want $1 million. I want to be a cajillionaire. I want to be a, trillionaire. Things like that. But that's because they think that money is going to bring them happiness. But that's capitalism at its finest, bro. Because, yes, you could get some sense of happiness through materialistic things, you buying the things that you want. Cool. But you won't have the people to actually enjoy it with you. Realizing that, oh, I'm able to buy this Lamborghini and you're on the road by yourself at all times. It's not all that fulfilling. But whenever you have a partner that you've been with ever since the beginning, and then they see the growth and the accomplishments to get to that point where you can buy that car and you're going faster than that car, it's much more of a happy feeling. But back to the whole Will Smith thing. Will Smith needs to get his shit together, okay? Especially with this music that he's coming out with. It's screaming, I want you to think that I'm not gay. Literally has a song called I Like Girls. What straight dude is saying I like girls? For one. In his grown ass age of like 40. Oh, I like girls. No, brother, it's supposed to be I like women. Come on, bro. But Will Smith has been a huge disappointment in my generation. I grew up looking at him as not like a inspiration or a role model, but it was one of those famous people where you looked at him and you're like, oh, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he must be that guy. But he gets cucked out by his wife. And they're still not even in a good situation years later. Like, I want Will to go find himself, bro. I want him to use the money that he has to just venture the world, and not on some, oh, I just want to see the sights, but finding himself, being silent, thinking about the things that he needs to think about, and act like a man, for Pete's sake, dude. You have children. You have children that look up to you. Well, they might not look up to you because of how bad of an example as a father you've been, but they look up to you, and you should be showing them how a man is. That's why Jaden is so freaking crazy himself. Yeah, I think he's gay too. I'm not saying, oh, there's something wrong with being gay. I'm not. But to go from Fresh Prince to gay is crazy. Again, who took his butt? Somebody had to take it. And then Jaden Smith's freaking fashion game is trash too. Like, I expected something good from him whenever he was out here making like PCH cruising. You know what I'm saying? That joke crazy. The back of the day, he used to make good music. Scarface, Drive, what is it, Fast? Yeah, there's a couple of good songs from him. But he completely fell off when he was trying to be on this freaking Cabin Fever vibe. And he's just, It's a big disappointment. After Eris and Sire, he stopped making good music, and then now he's just this weird whatever the fuck. Like, I'd guess like a very bad Tyler the Creator. That's the vibe I get from him. But I wish the best to Will Smith. I hope he actually ends up being good in the long term, but he needs to get his stuff together because we're grown men now, bro, and you're supposed to be something, not just a joke. We can't even sing the J. Cole song where it's like, I want that Jada and that Will love. Nobody wants Jada and that Will love. No one. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, to have the same love that you have in your life right now, Will Smith. I hope he sees this. I hope somebody just sends this to Will. And he's like, you know what? Let me get in my bag. Let me get in my game, because this is insane. You know, go make a good movie. Go find yourself. Go to freaking Scotland. Go into nature, bro. Do something. Find yourself, because this is an embarrassment. All right.